Okay, there we go.
Hi, everybody. Hey, it's Lorina and Kimmie. Kimmie's back. Yay, we're doing a video together.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm Lorina Quigley, the mystic medium. And anyway, so we're doing a really interesting video today. We're going to be bringing in some astrology stuff. Chris Bledsoe, Gerold O'Donnell. We're going to be looking at some predictions and also Gerold O'Donnell's kind of his psychic work in general and kind of what that is. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting year. And so I'll give Kimmie a chance to say hi now too.
Hi guys, I'm Kimmie, acupuncturist, healing medium. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And I'm excited. I love talking about Gerold's work, and it's a little bit past 2026, but we're kind of summing up some astrology that we were talking about too.
Yeah. All right. So let's start. And I can't remember how I found out about Gerold O'Donnell. It could have been I think I saw him, he was at Contact in the Desert and led some meditation, and that might have been it, or you might have been it. I'm not sure who.
No, you told me, I remember.
Yeah. So which one? The Contact in the Desert thing where I saw him on a video, or he used to do some YouTube videos, but he's taken them all off.
Yeah. I remember you telling me, like, yeah, I'm doing this guy, Gerold O'Donnell. And I was like, you're kidding me. You're the only person they've ever met who has ever mentioned him. But I'm going on 22 years about knowing about him because of a chiropractor that I used to see in Denver.
Uh-huh. And tell me, what did he say about him and why you decided to go for working with his material?
Well, I had been referred to him by like somebody else I was seeing, like an energy worker, and she was like, you need to go see this guy. I don't know why, they're telling me to refer you to him. And then I went out to go, get evaluated by him, and it was just, when you meet somebody and you're just like, there's something very special about this person. And I remember he sat there and he goes, oh, you're a fun one. And I'm like, what the heck did he mean by that? But then as I got to know him, he was like, yeah, I've been doing this whole system by this guy named Gerold O'Donnell. I do his meditations every day, and he would listen to those binaural beats like in his car when he would drive to and from work. He was very dedicated to the program because it's remote viewing, remote influencing. And I know it had shifted his whole chiropractic practice and the way he did things. Like, he didn't do more of the physicality, like the bone adjustments. It turned into soft tissue manipulation based on like skills he developed through Gerold's program to influence people's energy fields. So he was highly, intuitive, highly psychic, probably one of the best blending of physical and energy medicine that I probably have ever experienced, as somebody who puts up the front of being more of a medical person. So
working from a different level. So
yeah. You would adjust your organs just by touching your hara, in Chinese medicine, the hara and your belly. He would be like, oh yeah, that's your liver and that's your kidneys, and we meet.
Yeah. Sometimes when I do energy healing, I put my thumb right on their belly button.
Okay.
And well, first of all, I ask if I can.
Yeah.
And I literally, it's like I got my thumb down and right on the belly button. I ask them where it is exactly, and I put my thumb there, and stuff happens. There is a lot of stuff stored in there. A lot of it is ancestral, like especially through the mother.
Yeah.
That will come up and out energetically. Sometimes you can feel it, you can feel it, you can see it, there's something about that part of the body that's really important. Anyway, let's get back to Gerold O'Donnell. So, and you also said that you heard some people speaking about doing the system. We're not trying to sell the system.
Oh no, just kind of,
I just want to say that, but it's very powerful. So if anybody wants to investigate it, because I'm not making a cent for recommending him, and neither are you. But it's an amazing body of work if you decide to do it, and it's easy. You just have to not fall asleep.
Yeah, I think there's probably a good reason we're talking about it to leading up to an email that Gerold sent
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year that we'll explain.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, why we're
but you
talking
know,
about it. Yeah, but you heard a speech that he was giving where some women were talking, a couple of women talked about doing his program. Mention that because I think that's really interesting and really good information.
well, yeah, he did an event. I mean, this is like years ago that I watched a video on, where two people in the audience who were students of his and had been practicing his program regularly, because I think it's the continued dedication to it. One woman stood up and she had like a breast cancer in her, I don't know what breast, but she had done it regularly for 2 years and then shrunk the tumor. I can't use the word cure
Oh,
because
yes, don't say cure, even though we
that
both
minimized her cancerous tissue.
right.
And then another woman had stood up and
But
mentioned,
she said that it shrunk and was gone, basically. I think
I mean, yeah, like she didn't have to have chemo or radiation. I know that much.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that much. I think it's hard for doctors when they'll never use the word cure because it's
Yeah.
like, so I don't think she used that either.
Mhm.
But then another woman stood up and she had mentioned that after practicing doing the meditations and the work, after 3 or 4 months, she was able to attract enough money. She had a goal. And I remember specifically she had like $1 million. And she had manifested that. And she was her goal was to set herself financially free, and she did.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, financial freedom.
Mhm.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and I've been doing a lot of his work. So I've had some really cool experiences. And I've been doing it for years now. And so I'm not going to say all the experiences that I've had because I just started again, really kind of ramping it up. But I did have an experience, and this was probably 2 weeks ago, where I was doing one, and they're meditations. They're basically guided meditations. You can sit up, but it's, lay down in bed. Now, I have to say, I always do it probably too late at night. I should probably do it a little earlier because you can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but I was laying in bed and I was doing it, just listening to it on my phone because it's a digital program. And what I started seeing, and this was towards the end of it, and some of them last about an hour, some 45 minutes, some even longer, the meditations themselves. What I started seeing was, because there's a lot of rewiring of your subconscious mind to reprogram it. So I started seeing all of my thoughts, and I could see my thoughts kind of written out in script, and I could see them coming into my field and setting in. And so those thoughts are things
Mhm.
and they have energy, and I could see them coming into my field and setting into my kind of holographic field, I'll call it that. And 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 as I'm seeing it happening, it's like, no, I can't change every single thought that quickly, that I
Right.
can set a different reality for myself, but you can start changing it. But I could see it coming in and setting into my field, which is projects out, and I experienced that, and I could see it happening. I could literally see it happening. It's like, wow, okay. So I was at that level of consciousness where I could do that. So there are other ones where you really reset who you think you are too. There's a lot of kind of reframing and resetting your energy field so that you actually can heal things or change your life. It's really a cool system. And also what's really cool about it is, I think doing this kind of work, you will become more psychic, and you do have, I mean, your consciousness just goes to a higher level, and then
Yeah.
you start living that every day.
Yeah.
That's cool, because that's not that easy to do, you know?
I think it makes you more aware of like the subtle belief systems too. Like it's just you're expanding your awareness. It feels like, I think I remember also reading that a lot of his tapes and procedures are based on old mystery school, like protocols and imagery. So I know that's kind of like
Oh,
interdispersed in there.
oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Like, you know, when he kind of triggers the cobalt blue color a lot, like he's like cobalt blue, like that's an old mystery. And I don't remember if it was Egyptian or where that was from, but
yeah.
yeah.
And he has you work with different colors. Like last night, the one that I did was you go into this deep purple space. The one cool experience that I had doing his stuff was I was getting ready to teach a class. And so that was at 7. So around 4 o'clock, I sat down and did one of his meditations, one of the beginning ones. And so I was sitting up, and it was during the day. And I literally saw, at some point, I saw some beings come in and take some things out of my shoulder.
Oh, wow.
My left shoulder, this is my problem shoulder. But I
Is
saw
that
these
from
little,
cutting hair?
oh, it's from doing hair, yeah, for years. And also from probably doing way too much yoga. And but what I saw was I could see inside, at some level, I could see my energy body. And there are different levels of energy body. That's why I said it like that. So at this level, and what I could see, these little triangle things, these little black triangle things, like in my shoulder. And there were a lot of little black dots in my shoulder, in these little triangle things. Somebody came in and just suddenly showed up and started pulling these little triangles out of my shoulder.
Oh, wow.
And that was during the day, and I was sitting up doing that meditation. So I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Yay. I know that's a good thing. Anyway, so it's powerful work. You just got to do it. And it's not expensive.
No.
It's really nice. It's not expensive at all.
He makes it affordable, like a couple times a year often. So
yeah. So it's like $150, which is way cheaper than the Gateway program. That's for sure, which is very powerful too.
I wish I had more of a bigger community like forum, you know, and more, but like that's the only drawdown of it. Like, you know.
Yeah, so you can connect with more people who are doing it. Yeah.
It's on there, but it's kind of slow.
Yeah. It is on. Yeah, it is you can connect with other students there. Yeah. Anyway, so do you have anything else to share about doing his program?
No, not really. My fault is I mean I've read it comes with 2 books, one about remote influencing, one about remote viewing, and all of his belief systems around his experience with exploring his, you know, consciousness and stuff, about the matrix and all that. You know, I'm really well versed on all that, but the actual practicing part is where I lack structure. I know. But I think if I committed to it, like at least one time a day with the binaural beats, I'd probably get great results fast. As many of you.
Yeah.
Like you are.
Yeah. So I committed myself about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago to like do it every day. And I have been doing it every day. Except for 1 or 2. Yeah. Like it just got too late or something. But you can fall asleep. It's easy to do.
Have you gotten into the remote influencing? Because I know remote viewing, it's one thing to train yourself to see, but it's another to do the RI, remote influencing, so that you can actually influence the physical.
Yeah. I was doing it last night. Yeah. Okay. And even in regular remote viewing, they teach you how to do remote influencing.
Oh.
Different types where you can influence, you can influence other people's behavior, but you want to do that in a way that has some ethics, morals and ethics, and so that you're not doing anything evil or truly manipulative.
Right.
But this one last night, so I was sending some. Well, it was actually part of the guided meditation where you do some remote influencing. So I was doing it last night. But it was for healing. I was sending it for healing for several people. So, and that's part of because I've taken classes from Bertie Jaworski,
Okay.
who's a remote viewer. She gets into remote influencing. She calls it remote healing and influencing.
Okay.
And so it's not that hard to do, actually. So yeah, I've definitely done it. Yeah. And so you're going inside people's bodies and remote viewing what's going on there, and then bringing healing through a very specific technique to bring healing to that part of the body wherever you feel that it is needed.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard. It's actually not that hard. Yeah, you just have to learn it and then do it.
Yeah.
It's yeah, very cool. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think all of this share that we just did is like kind of leading up to, as long as you and I have been, part of how do you say it? Not probable. He used to call it probable
Future.
something. Probable future, but now it's like the Avari.
Avari. Yeah. Avari. Avari. Avari.
Every New Year's, Gerold sends out, like, he goes into deep communion with what he calls the one. You could call it the universe, God, whatever. And he's sort of been like, not, would you say warning, but like giving a report about the nature of our creation, of our universe, was so that we could explore parts of ourselves that are like, we are not separate from God, but here we get to experience it, the separation. But we got too far away, that he was sort of insinuating we might be too far gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Too far from the original, I guess, intent. Like,
yeah.
Children gone bad, children gone wild. Yeah.
Almost to the point where he was saying we weren't registering fully anymore on like divine awareness. Kind of in danger of, if you think about a computer, like being deleted. I mean, I know it's kind of like harsh, but then we got the email this year and he said, good news, y'all.
Yeah, this is recent. This is New Year's Eve, or right around New Year's. Yeah.
The one is turning back to his creation and pulling his children back into the light, meaning those things that want to continue to be dark, those entities, those beings, they have no choice, sort of. They're coming with too.
Yeah. So he's basically saying there's a major shift is going to take place. That source is like, okay, enough. Okay, bad children, enough. Okay, I'm doing something about this because you've gone too far. Yeah. And so that's interesting. And he's on Facebook. And so, but he doesn't have a big presence socially at all. So you have to kind of connect with his group. But you can read some of that on Facebook or get his emails, and he'll give this information. Anyway, it's just, so what does that look like? And on Facebook, somebody said, what does that mean? What is that going to look like? Does that mean that a whole bunch of evil people are just going to die and that's it, and the rest of us will be here?
Did he respond?
He said, don't go into fear, is what he said. Don't go into fear about what this is going to look like, because we just don't know. We don't know. And connect with the mind of God and then ask it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Have you been aware of any shifts in your own landscape before he even sent, I say landscape, but your own, that's something I'm good at, is noticing shifts in my own my subconscious landscape. Have you noticed anything before you even got that email?
I feel like, but I've been doing a lot of work on myself.
Yeah.
And even though I have challenges just like everybody else, that I just feel happier.
Okay.
And clearer and more. And then I have moments where I'm like, oh no. But then it's easier to bounce back from that and be in a space where I just feel better about everything and happier and more connected. So I guess that's positive. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed like things I normally would worry about, not all things, obviously, but like I've been feeling more free of being attached to what other people think about me. And like being okay with, say there's something I'm doing, saying that they don't agree with, being like, that's okay, then they can go. Which isn't my normal.
Oh,
And I'm like, this is different. Like I don't feel
uh,
as like I have to use so much of my bandwidth to like worry about how I'm perceived.
oh,
And then
oh,
and I'm like, wow, I feel like some thought forms or something, some belief systems are sort of falling apart.
oh,
And I'm like,
nice.
I can't be only happening to me. And so they sent out that email
Oh,
and I was like,
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am less attached to what people think. Okay, so not getting caught up in a response system to stuff other people are doing that I don't like. Just
Yeah.
have fun with that. Okay, that's you want it. So I'm less attached to that, and I don't get upset. It's like that's just where they are.
Right.
And there's nothing I can do to change their perception of how they're seeing life. So, and that's okay. I mean, so there's less attachment to other people and their whatever they're going through, and more observation around it, just being more observing, and don't get caught up in the crazy. Because there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Well, I think we were talking about it today before in our little prep, and this is kind of controversial, but it is sort of what they've been telling us from the West, the Western philosophy, not Western, sorry, Eastern philosophy for a long time.
Mhm.
And Gerold talks about it too. This is just an illusion, that nothing is real.
Yeah.
And I was just telling Lorina, I actually feel it now. And I don't know what shifted, where I feel like, don't get so upset about all of the struggle that's happening out in the world, because it's just attachments to belief systems, and we as humans are just fighting over beliefs, and beliefs aren't even real. And I know that sounds kind of crazy to
Yeah.
explore, but that's how I've been feeling lately, where I'm like, God, we're fighting about things that aren't even real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And just having a lot of compassion for it, because I mean, I guess I'm starting to like expand into non-attachment.
Mhm. Yes.
And
Yay.
being okay with people that, from my point of view, I might not be right, they need to go out and like fight for this identity.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we all have a right to our own universe and our own perspectives.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So let's getting back to Gerold O'Donnell, and he says that the source is doing something about what's happening, and the perceived darkness that is happening in our world. And there's some people don't believe there's darkness, but there is. Okay, so I'm not going to get into anything that I watched on YouTube videos about people like saying, "Oh no, that's just your perception." Well, there is darkness. See, people do dark things, unfortunately.
But isn't that just the play of light and dark? Like,
Yeah,
the
well,
shadow is just the absence of light. There is no darkness after a certain level, don't you think? Like a certain awareness of your soul's.
of your
I mean,
soul
here, I guess
awareness.
I'm getting into semantics here, but here, yes, it exists. But at a certain level, it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. But the closer you get to enlightenment, the bigger the shadows get.
True.
Is
Yeah.
what they say. So
It's got a hook in you so you don't completely get out.
Yeah.
Or try not to get out, but
anyway, so Gerold is talking about, this kind of source, or what he calls it, the one, is going to get involved with his creation and start shifting some things as far as like darkness. And he uses the word darkness, if I remember correctly. Anyway,
there's separation.
yeah,
There's the illusion of
separation.
separation.
Yeah. But I wanted to get into Chris Bledsoe also said something about this sort of thing happening too, that if you're whoever's, a lot of people have heard of Chris Bledsoe at this time, and he has a book called UFO of God. I've read about half of it, and I've watched a whole bunch of his videos. He said that there's going to be a shift happening too, and he says this year. So, and he said the Easter, and I wrote it down, so I'm going to just read it. He said that Easter, which is April 12th, by the way, this year, he said that when the star Regulus, and he calls it the red star, that's what he heard from the lady. He had a vision, or not a vision, I mean, this woman visited him, who he calls the lady. She said that when the red star Regulus aligns with the gaze of the Sphinx, there will be a shift, and the new knowledge of humanity will come forward. And he talks about the divine feminine, this being an aspect of the divine feminine coming in, because, the divine feminine has been kind of butchered for centuries, as far as just kind of being run over by this masculine energy. Okay, I'm not a patriot. I don't hate men. I love men. I just want to say that, but that it's just been very out of balance.
Yeah,
the feminine and the masculine, way out of balance. So that there's going to be a shift in that, and so something is going to shift and change, and new knowledge is going to come forward. Anyway, so there will be a shift in the powers of the heavens, and the divine feminine will come back for 1,000 years of peace. Uh-oh, you disappeared. Are you there?
Yeah, so did you.
Oh,
there you go.
Yay.
Somebody called you. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I was looking down.
Okay.
The divine feminine will come back, 1,000 years of peace, but there will be trouble first. And he said that what he saw, is given as a vision, is that Israel will bomb Syria and Iran. Now, if you've been watching the news lately, there's a lot of stuff going on in Iran. So
is he mean like around that time frame?
Before the shift happens, that's, I guess it's just one of the signs that when this will be coming. Now, he did say Easter. It's in his book, Easter 2026. So that's coming up, April 12th. But now he's kind of changing that a little bit, and he is saying that he's now saying September. So, and I don't know when that started, but he's going to be in Egypt in September. So who knows? But
okay.
Anyway, so just a little bit of a different message. And I was doing a little bit of psychic work yesterday sometime, and I was using my divining rods, the copper ones, kind of fun. And and I asked when that is going to happen, like this shift taking place, April or September. Yeah. And what I got was it's hard to define that kind of big energy in days coming in, because it's a super big energy or shift coming through. And it's hard to pinpoint it onto one day, because these are two different aspects of time and energy being so big that it's sort of like, the age of Aquarius, or the shifting from the Pisces era into the age of Aquarius. And I remember back in 2000, or maybe before that everyone was arguing whether it had already taken place or not. Mm-hmm. When big shifts take place, it's hard to define it and pinpoint it. And also that the Kali Yuga, we've been in the Kali Yuga cycle, going into this new cycle, and that was supposed to start, I think, last year in 2025, March 2025. But these cycles are so big that the old is still dying out as we go to the new, mm-hmm. which is more enlightenment. So it's hard to define that in an exact date. So it may start that exact date, but will you see something happen? That's the question. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's all. Anyway, it's just interesting what he is saying. And if you want to investigate him, there's a lot of material out there around Chris Bledsoe. And he's had a lot of experiences with UFOs and ETs and all this stuff. His story is kind of crazy.
What's the lady? Explain the lady a little bit.
Well,
I
the
thought it was
lady,
really fascinating who she
yeah.
is and how
Yeah,
I experienced her.
The lady is supposed to be an aspect of the divine feminine. And I was asking questions about this. Yes, she is the aspect of the divine feminine. She appeared to him in a white gown, a white woman with golden hair,
Mm-hmm.
I think blue eyes, I can't remember for sure, and kind of human size, if I, not super tall or big or anything. But from what he said, and looked very human, like how you look as a human, blonde hair, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a white
Weird.
gown.
I've experienced that woman.
Oh,
A woman that's
really?
very similar
We'll have to
looking.
hear about that. And she's holding her. Somebody painted a picture of her for him. He said that it doesn't look exact as far as in the face of what he saw, but it's pretty close. So you can look that up too. She he said that she's also like Our Lady of Guadalupe, the vision at Fatima, and also Lourdes, that she's been coming in, speaking to humanity, whoever will listen, for centuries, trying to help humanity. So she is also these other people. And I think he said that she was also Hathor and Isis. And anyway, so it's really interesting. And you said that you had an experience with her?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be I've been for a long time, like a couple of years now. I see this woman in my mind's eye, and she's blonde. She's got blue eyes, but she looks very human. And it's been very confusing because nobody in my family ancestrally blonde-eyed. I've been asking if she's a guide. I mean, I feel her around. I see a woman that looks and sounds like this, but I'm just like, I don't know. Is she just a ghost? It's a weird coincidence. What I thought.
Yeah. And she also has a triangle. I think it's an upside down triangle on her chest. And what else?
That means water, doesn't that? That's a sign.
Well,
of water.
I think that upside down triangle is feminine also, and then the side up is masculine.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah. And if you look at the tarot cards, the higher arcana, it's the Temperance card.
Oh yeah.
There is an angelic being who is pouring water between 2 cups for balance, and has blonde hair and has a white gown on, and it's very similar to what that is.
Oh, okay.
That's the traditional tarot. If you look up the Rider-Waite deck, that's what that being looks like. Yeah. And I've seen divine beings. So so I was very interested in this because I'm like, oh, someone else sees divine beings and has full, like, they're standing there in front of me. I need to pay attention to this. This is quite interesting. Anyway. So
fascinating.
So when that woman, the lady, if she shows up again, see if you can talk to her some more.
I just thought, like she hasn't said she's a guide. I'm like, are you a guide? Are you an angel? And then I just whatever my human self's getting in the way of getting the response.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can ask, are you an aspect of the divine feminine? In the spirit form, connect with me. It's really cool. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's this year. And then we're gonna talk about some astrological configurations going on this year, because there's some big astrological configurations happening. Now, I want to say that we do a psychic development circle every Tuesday here in Phoenix. And So I do a guided meditation. I actually say the guided meditation, bringing these people through meditation, and then we open the circle to messages.
Mhm.
And this Tuesday, just, what is Saturday? So 4 days ago, we did it. And what I saw the eclipse coming up. So that eclipse is February 17th. And what I saw and it's a solar eclipse. I actually got a vision. I could see, the first thing I saw was the sun, the eclipse. So that dark circle with the halo of the sun around it. And I could see that very prominently. And what I saw was there's going to be, saw and felt, there's going to be a lot of it felt like warlike events taking place at that time period. And this has to do with solar eclipses are usually stronger than lunar eclipses.
Oh, okay.
Not always, but I'm just, having studied astrology for many years, I recall that solar ones are stronger. And also you look and see where the eclipse path is, where you can see the actual eclipse happening, where it happens in that area. There's usually more events happening there. I think it's, if I remember right, was around Antarctica. So that could be maybe South America, parts of South America. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, don't get mad at me, please. But it's usually very event oriented. And anyway, that I saw some just more conflict, more warlike stuff happening, and there might be some surprising things in the news that could get people upset. But I also heard that, well, this was for everyone, like, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. So try not to get too caught up in what you see on the news.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to share, that because that doesn't usually come in right away at a message circle, as far as like, it was the first thing I saw. I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of unusual that I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to share that. Yeah. All right. Do you have any, I know you kind of wrote some stuff out around that. Do you want to share anything? I'm going to drink some water.
I was not I'm not obviously an astrologer, but I had beginning of the year, and I know you like her, Joni Patry.
Joni Patry, yeah.
And she had talked specifically about this summer. I wrote it down about the May and July, calling it the peak awakening.
Mm-hmm.
So end of May, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus align in Gemini.
Yeah, which is actually Cancer in tropical Western astrology.
Okay,
just to define that, because she does sidereal astrology, so
that's right.
Yeah. So I looked it up.
She was saying June and July being like a really beautiful, like up to the best time of the year. With these alignments, bringing a lot of like economic improvements, wisdom, significant evolution in global consciousness, kind of going into July. And then that's when I brought up to you what she was really worried about, what she saw happening in August. She called it a leadership crisis with Sun and South Node Ketu aligned with Leo, and the fixed star Regulus.
Yes. Back to the fixed star, yes, which is interesting because Regulus in Chris Bledsoe's a prophecy, if you want to call it that, has to do with Regulus and lining up with the Sphinx. So which is a fixed star. Yeah.
Yeah, and she talked about it sort of, and she danced around it, but the connection with the time and Leo, and I'm not, what do you call it? I'm just giving information here. I'm not taking a side. The Trump family having all these birthdays and like charts associated with that astrological alignment. And she talked about like something shocking happening during that time, like possibly related to his family or him. So, and it's like kind of takes a turn from all that goodness that happened in the prior couple months.
Yeah, and that's August 22nd, because I wrote that down. Yeah.
It seems like a lot of, I forgot to bring this up, a lot of really good astrologers at the beginning of the year, the one thing they all said, this is going to be a huge year for disclosure.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so.
ET, extraterrestrial.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also wanted to say that she spoke around on March 14th that there's Mars conjuncts Rahu,
Okay.
that's the North Node. But anytime Mars is involved, there could be, this is more around March 14th. Now it could be before or after that time period, but there can be a lot of like extra violence, unfortunately. Yeah. And April 19th, she also mentioned April 19th, which is Mars, Saturn, and Mercury are all in Aries around 7-8 degrees. Now that's tropical, because which is Western. So if you have any points in your chart around that, it could just be, well, there are several things that come from that Mars, Saturn, and Mercury, it can be a time to actually create a better foundation for yourself, like put energy into creating a better foundation for yourself. So it's actually good to know when, if you can know your chart or know when these points are in your chart, that you can use that in a very positive way to help create the life that you want. So Mars, Saturn, and Mercury all in Aries around 7-8 degrees. That Aries energy, so Mars in Aries, that's its own sign. So there's going to be a lot of power. So people are going to be like, I just want to get things done. Use that Aries energy to move forward and get some stuff done and taken care of. So that's a good thing. But there could also be a lot of weird weather and earthquakes. Yeah, and also volcanoes, because it's in fire. So, and that's what I got about, that eclipse point on February 17th. I also got that there's going to be some at least one. And there's always volcano. I have to say this. There are always volcanoes going off in the world. This is where it's a big Earth. But what I got was there's going to be a volcano that has been relatively quiet that's going to pop off. Yeah. And with all this, and didn't bring this up. We are in a number 1 year. So this is a year of new beginnings. We went from 9. Last year was a 9. So it's endings. This year it's a 1 in numerology. So we're moving into a 1. We've moved into a 1 year. So it is a time to start new projects and decide what you want to create. It's the perfect energy. It's a number 1 year to start new things and decide what you want that to look like and want that to be, and just do it. And also it's in February, is it February? We're moving from the year of the snake to the year of the horse, and it's a fire horse.
Chinese New Year is February 17th.
Oh, is it?
I was just remembering that when you were talking about February 17th. I was like, I just looked it up.
It was a little later, but okay. I believe you. So that's the year of the fire horse.
Yeah.
Fire, movement. So think of things being more on fire. And when I say that, like action, taking action, you feel like you want to get things done. And you might be more fiery, but that could also, there's a good side to that and a bad side to that. So, what do you want to create? Use that energy for new things.
Yeah.
To set your life and decide and take action towards that. It's a good year for action, taking action, and creating new projects, really going for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. And also very positive that the peak awakening, which is towards the end of May until July.
Yeah.
So this is really good news. So there's always bad news, but there's good news.
Right.
Focus on that. And just remember, we are in a transition. I think humanity's in a transition. We are shifting. Yeah. And just say that. Yeah.
Like another year post 2020. Yay.
Yeah.
That's what everybody kind of jokes about,
Yeah.
This is gonna be my year.
Yeah. 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 Anyway, so it's a great time to, especially with that Mars and Aries and Saturn, Mercury, ground yourself, put your feet on the ground, decide what you want to create and go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just do it. And with that peak awakening, that's with Venus and Jupiter and Mercury. So it's a really good time to, again, what do you want to create? And also to create beauty in your life. That's, we have to remember to appreciate and to appreciate, have gratitude, and to bring beautiful things into your life, things that help create love, you know, just, yeah, because it's all about love. I mean, that's it. That's what source is, love. We all come from source, and we are created from love.
One of the only things that's real.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I mean true love, the source. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good way to end this. Let's end on love, just that we are from source. We are a spark of the creator, and we come from love.
Yep.
Yay. Just little hands there. That's awesome.
We'll see if we can see those in the video. I don't know.
That's perfect. Anyway, so, and to remember that. Yeah. And we have more power than we think. We all do. Yeah. We are creators. We're in a hologram. So we have more power than we think or have been taught.
Yes.
Anyway, I think that's it. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you got through to the end of this because it ends on a good note. And hopefully we'll do more of these. Kimmie, I think, is more available now to do more of these. So yay.
Back from Chicago, so.
Yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. It's been great. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Like, follow, subscribe. Is that?
Yes, please.
Recommend.
Yes.
Right.
And comment. Please comment too. We love to hear your comments.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye, everybody.
Ah.